biscuits in our family are what we call Auntie's ginger biscuits. They are so good. They look good on a plate, serve up at tea time or any time. They're crisp and tasty. Delicious. And they smell wonderful. Oh! This is a very old recipe, so of course the measurements are all in imperial. So if you want to do metric, you have to make your own conversion. But I like to keep to the imperial because the ratio of the ingredients is very easy to remember. We have 10 ounces of plain flour, 8 ounces of stalk margarine, 6 ounces of golden syrup, and 4 ounces of caster sugar. 10, 8, 6, 4. Easy to remember. And then to the flour, we add 2½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, 3 teaspoons of ground ginger. Okay, so I've measured out the margarine and the golden syrup and the sugar, 8, 6 and 4 ounces. And now I'm stirring it over a gentle heat to melt it. It's important not to let it boil. When I was 5 years old, I was in hospital for 3 months with polio. And one of my fondest memories of that time is of my granny and auntie coming in to visit me with a tin of their ginger biscuits that they'd made at home. And I still remember now putting my head into the tin and inhaling the smell, that lovely, fresh, familiar smell. And even 62 years later, I still love the smell of ginger biscuits. It always takes me back to that time as a child when I felt really loved and cared for. Right, so now it's melted, I'm going to add the flour and the dry ingredients. I have experimented over the years with a few changes, like putting butter instead of margarine. It didn't work, they were too greasy. But I do like to add a little bit of cinnamon. It does, I think it improves the flavour. So I just put in ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. You can put more if you like. And the other thing I do, because I love juicing and because I love ginger, I grate a piece of root ginger. And then I squeeze some of the juice, or all of the juice out of that into it, just to make them really gingery and fresh. And I have to admit, this does make me feel a little bit like Jamie Oliver when I do this. So, then we stir it all up together. I've stirred it all up so it's a nice smooth kind of batter, and I'm going to place spoonfuls of the batter onto either a Teflon non-stick thing or a piece of baking parchment, something that they won't stick to. It's important to place them well apart because they do spread out. If they join up, you're just going to have to cut them apart, but it's easier if they have their own space to grow in. I've got one lot in the oven now. Because my oven's an Aga oven, it's quite hot, so they only take a few minutes. If you've just got a regular oven, a regular heat, then I guess they could take 15 to 20 minutes. The most important thing is that they're cooked enough to be crisp, but not burnt, and that's quite a fine line. So I'm just going to look at ones that are in here. No, they're not quite done yet. Okay, I think these are done. So they're a really rich golden brown. Hopefully they will be crisp. I've got them on a Teflon sheet here, so I'm just going to move that off, and then this lot I've got on a baking parchment. Just put that onto there, and then put those in here. I would say that this is the trickiest bit, really, getting them just right. Easier if you've got a regular oven, but if you've got a very hot oven, of course, they very quickly go from being just right to burnt. So now I'm going to put them on a cooling tray. As you see, they have spread out. They have plenty of room, so... Oh, if you could only smell. They are so delicious. Well, I've done all the batches now and they've cooled down and they're nice and crisp. So I'm going to put them in a tin. Granny and Auntie always kept their biscuits in an old sweet tin, a Fox's Glacier mint tin. Can you home in on this one, Arthur? Okay, these were much coveted by the family when Auntie died. There were 2 tins, and in the end my sisters Liz and Sarah, they have them now. So that brings back very special memories when we go to each other's houses and see these tins. But I just have an ordinary tin, so I'm going to put them all in here. And my favourite thing to do is when they're all in, I'm going to need another tin. This isn't as big as the Fox's Glacier mint tin. Is to, oh, the smell is so wonderful. Anyway, I don't know how many generations this recipe has been passed down, but at least 4. So I hope you'll have a go, and that you'll get as much pleasure out of these in your family as we do in ours. So good luck and enjoy.